Have fun.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I might we're still 2:06, so it's good because I have till 3, or whatever time it is there.
Okay.
Good evening, folks. Apologies for being 5 or so minutes late, but we're here anyway, which is the main thing. So thanks very much for coming in. I hope everybody's well and safe wherever you are, and welcome to Paranormal and History's first ever joint live with international mediums Charlotte Underwood and Patti Negri, which is a first for them as well. So quite a big night tonight, especially for us. Just hi to people in the chat. We've got Nicole, Chaos, Sam, excuse me, Donna, Jose, I think that's, excuse me if I pronounce your name wrong, buddy. Thanks very much for coming in. As I say, Charlotte, Patti, thanks for coming in, girls. Absolutely immense to have you in.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Fun.
I know this is the first time the both of you have ever met. And also, Patti, you're from Los Angeles. Charlotte, you're from Berkshire.
Berkshire. Just say Windsor.
Windsor.
Easier.
You're from down the road. So we got Penny's in and Andy Murphy as well. Welcome. And Ellen, was an Ellen there as well?
Yes.
Brilliant. Hi, everybody.
So ladies, these are both internationally acclaimed mediums, known all over the world. And these are both probably got different styles. So what I want to do tonight was, just compare to see how the UK compares to America, if that makes sense.
I guess. Where do we start at comparing? For me, again, it was I've been talking to the other side since I was a little bitty kid. I thought everybody did. I knew the person in the closet, under the bed, all those supposed imaginary friends weren't imaginary. They were real beings I could talk to, get real information, give to my parents. It was never taught out of me. That was never evil or anything bad. I was always really obsessed with the dead, but never in a morbid or dark way. So I literally did my first seance when I was 7 or 8. When my little, darkened hallway, realized I didn't know anybody dead. Marilyn Monroe, John Kennedy, anybody a little kid knows, and it filled with orbs and lights. And that was the first time I lifted the veil. My gift, besides mediumship, talking to the other side, is seeing energy and directing energy. So that's how I work it. I kind of clump it all in. I don't go, I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant, it just kind of is. So I've also studied my whole life because I want to put it into concepts and cosmologies that people could understand within their understanding and belief systems. And I still take it all down to energy. So I don't know how I work. I do. I definitely have an on-off switch, like we were talking about on-off before we were on air, because I don't want to be in the grocery store seeing your dead mother. I want to be there for groceries. I don't want to be like Long Island Media, who's great, like your mother wants to talk to you, because they know she's there. By the way, there's a whole TV crew. I just want to turn it off. And that actually makes your gift stronger when you turn it on. So anybody out there, all you empaths, which there's so many of now, and gifted people, come up with an on-off switch. So that's kind of my thing of this year. Everything is so heightened with the world pandemic and all that. Everything, the vibration is higher. We got to keep ourselves together. So, and everybody's so sensitive. So figure out you're controlling it, and have a dial on off anywhere in the middle. And then just allow. To me, it's right brain, left brain. I know how to shut down that left logical reasoning brain so that you could let your right creative, intuitive, spiritual side take over and dance between. So I don't know. That's how in a real quick overview, how I work it. Charlotte, how about you?
Actually, we are quite similar, I think. We are. Yeah, you definitely, I agree with Patti. definitely got to have an on-off switch, because you would be physically drained if you did not switch off. And as most of my followers, who, if there's any of them watching tonight, which I think there is, they know that I haven't been very well this last couple of weeks. I was in hospital and I had to switch off, so I've not done any work, and we have to recoup that energy as well. We are human beings, and I think sometimes people forget that that we are humans. We're not just these sources of information.
So our machine. Speak now.
Yeah, so we have to be people too. But yeah, I mean, obviously I do teach, so I have to teach my students from the basics. That's something that I stick with, and I'm very strong with, that they have to work from the basics, because when you forget the basics, that's when things start going wrong. And so I teach them about, as Patti said, about the clairs. But I work with all of them, so I can't really say which one I do work with generally, like Patti, I'm the same. It just happens.
I don't know. You see, smelling, tasting. Yeah.
And it changes. It differs from whatever I am doing. If I'm doing a private reading or if I'm doing a live, it differs every single time. It's different every single time, so you can't put it down to one way.
Yeah. And every single spirit is different. It's like, how do you talk to Scott one day, Fred one day, Bob one day? You're going to speak to your audience. If you're talking to 7-year-olds, it's one way. If you're talking to college graduates one day, you're one-on-one client. So and I love that you teach. We are very similar. I teach too. I love giving my knowledge and what I've learned and studied all these years. Empowering people. That's good.
It's my that's why I do what I do. I love it, and I always put my heart into it, and that's the way it should be to me. And I love all my students. I know some of them are watching tonight, so bless them. But I do also, Patti, we wanted to say a big hello to somebody, didn't we, tonight?
Yes, we did. 1, 2, 3. Carly! Hi, Carly. We're out there somewhere.
Hello, Carly. Thank you very much, ladies. That she'll be enjoying this. Maybe she'll put a comment on the chat to let us know a wee thank you to you.
Hopefully she'll stick a wee comment. Just I know more people come in, so we get Julie, Robbie's here. I know Charlie and Rock's there from the Haunted Hunts UK, the TV show, and we got them on the other night. Charlie and Rock's just come in. Gillian's here as well. I'm trying to actually work Sarah's mouse to scroll up, but it's one of these fancy ones, and I'm not too clever with it, to be honest with you. Julie Rapton's in, John Arkle. If I'm missing anybody, I do apologise. These are all very, very. Jennifer's in. Jennifer's part of our American team. Yeah, she's from California as well. Funnily enough, Stevie Ross is in. Hope you're doing well, buddy, and Andy Murphy as well. So thanks very much, everybody, for coming in. So as you were saying, ladies, you have an off switch. Sam was asking what your off switch is. Do you have a certain kind of way of switching off? Maybe a routine you go through or something like that.
Do you want to go first this time?
Okay. So my belief is you should put 100% trust into spirit. Okay, you should put 100% trust into them. And I say to them, I just say I am switching myself off. I am not working now. And they respect that. And that's exactly how I do it.
Yeah, I do it. There's lots of ways you can learn to do it. That's the best intent, and you talk to spirit and they work with you. For a lot of people who are just getting that relationship going with spirit, universe, whatever words you want to use, their guides. I'm a big believer of that mind, body, spirit philosophy. You have to set it in your head. I'm shutting it off. I'm turning it on. The body is taking action, and the spirit is the faith, what you're saying, the faith behind it. So what's worked for me, for a lot of people, is literally, it's like, it could be a hand mudra or something like that until you're really good at doing it. It could be take 3 deep breaths and I'm turning it off. Take 2 breaths, 3, I'm turning it on. Go waka with your arms. It could be silly. It could be serious. It could be whatever, blink your eyes. But when you put the headset and the physical and then the spirit faith behind it, it's a real way to learn until you get used to it, and then you don't kind of need anything, just the same that Charlotte was saying. So
another way you can do, which is something again I with Patti saying about people that are just starting out. So another good way is to use your grounding techniques. Very, very important, because you should ground every single day anyway. And actually grounding is used in mental health on the earthbound plane. So it's very, very important. So you can do your grounding. You can close your chakras down, because our chakras, as Patti knows, they open naturally. So if you are putting that intent out there, close them down and pop on your layers of protection. And just ask, say, I am closed, I am protected. Okay. So that's the sort of thing that if somebody is starting out, I would advise.
Yeah.
Just want to say hello to Laura. Laura, Patti and Shelley, you've not met Laura. She's a new member to our team as well. She's in the chat. She does investigating. She does writing for us as well. I just saw, apologies, Laura, I just saw your name pop up there. So, don't fall out with me. But so she's a new member of the team. And Robbie Crossan, he's from Kilmarnock. Welcome, buddy. We're from the same town. So, after you switch off, is it just like you're totally switched off? For instance, can you sit and maybe watch a movie?
Yeah. You could sit and watch a movie. I don't want to be spoken. I turned that off twice now. Holy moly. It's on silence. Isn't that weird?
Yep.
Sorry, you guys. How can I mute? I can mute. Hold on.
Bless her.
Did I mute her?
Yeah, you just click the mute button.
Oh, sorry if I just muted Patti Negri. Oh, don't do that.
I muted myself. I just unmuted.
All right.
I can mute myself.
Woo.
Sorry. It said silence right on it. Ghost in the machine. Too many high vibration people in here, in this room.
I've just seen a comment, Scott. Is it okay just to, and it was from your Robbie. I'm just seeing it here. It says my off switch is broke. I end up ignoring spirit 99% of the time. Only talk to them on investigations. I have to say, in all my years of doing investigations in the paranormal field, I have noticed so many people take themselves in unprotected, and they don't. And for me, and this is why, with you, Scott, I said to you, come along and learn how to do these basics to help you on investigations. And it's so important, because people do not understand that things can attach themselves to you on investigations. And if you as he's just said, if my switch is broken, it's not broken. You just have to put your faith and your full trust into spirit, and they will be there and they will protect you. So it's very, very important to do that. It really catches me sometimes when I know people go into investigations without any protection on, because they think they shouldn't need it or they shouldn't have to have it on, but actually they should. So that's really, really important. And it doesn't stop you experiencing anything, does it, Patti?
No, not at all. In fact, opposite, because you put you have your protections, and then you can be more clear what you have. But what's hard is so many people into like paranormal ghost hunting, they don't know the spiritual realm of it. They just want to see ghosts. So they're not connecting the whole thing. So I'm actually teaching a class next month on psychic protection for paranormal, because it needs to be, now there's some stuff coming out about that, because and even what next needs to be is, besides for television shows and stuff, because spirits don't know the difference. And I don't mean reality, because that's reality. I mean, when you're really doing ghost inventions and stuff, but like television shows that are dramas, they're not trying to be real, or horror films. The reason so many of them get cursed and haunted is because ghosts don't know the difference of this is an actor's words opening up portal and stuff. They don't. That's why so much stuff happens, like especially on horror films like The Exorcist. And so I know a friend of mine who was writing a script. I'm like, oh no, you can't say that. He's like, but you said that. I go, I know I said that. You can't say that on a movie screen. That will open up a thing. So you're right. You need the
I
protection.
think there's a big misunderstanding between people who work in the spiritual world who have a lack of understanding of the paranormal world because they think they're different, and actually they're not. They're very much the same. So for me, I would always say to somebody, if you are interested in doing paranormal investigating, actually learn about how to connect with spirit first, because you will enjoy it more, you will see more, you will experience more, and you will actually probably get either hurt less or affected less, should I say. You know, it's so important.
Can I just ask there? Sorry, Scott.
No, I
can I just ask?
I started Charlotte's class, but it was just before Christmas and New Year, and you know, one thing. So I'm coming back if it's on this Sunday, because I know you've not been too well as well, Charlotte, and you've had another couple of things going on in the background and what have you, which also not good. But if you, I'll start again. You're on this Sunday.
I don't know what you said. I have no idea. One word you said, Scott.
Sorry, Pat, but Charlotte does a class on a Sunday night.
It's spiritual development.
I could clip it.
It's about spiritual development, so I've started doing a class, but I've only managed to make it along one time, you know, because it was not long before Christmas and there was other things happening. So I'll definitely be in class this Sunday, teacher, 8:30 sharp.
No problem.
You know, you can take me as being present. You know, remember that in school?
No worries. Shelley, if you want to join, you're welcome to as well, my love.
Oh, that would be lovely, actually, really. Because what I was going to ask you about is, you know how you're talking about psychic protection. I mean, that's a must. But when you're asking for protection, would it be your spirit guides that you're asking for protection? Or is it just like, I'm just trying to understand the whole process of the psychic protection part.
I believe,
I don't know if you could.
What I believe, work within your belief system, work within your cosmology, and that's going to be the best. Spirit is spirit. I take everything down to energy, so it doesn't matter the exact words. But if you're working, your typical Christian, and you work with Christ light with Jesus, that's who you're going to call in, and your guides. If you work in an angelic, you call in your angels. If you're spirit guides, if you work in elementals, call in your elementals. You work with your dragons. You work with your again, I take it down to energy anyways, but work within your understanding and your belief system. And even, again, who are you going to call when you get scared? Figure that one out before you get scared.
So one thing that everybody has when they are born is what they call a gatekeeper. Okay, and they are their protector. They are there when they are born. So they bring them into the world and they also take them out of the world and they go with. So your gatekeeper is your biggest protector. Okay, so you can say the words, I call on my gate protector to put the protection around me. You can call on your guides, you can call on your archangels, your angels, like Patti said, whoever you believe in, you call on that God, whoever. And so long as you put that trust in there, you're fine.
And so you've got kind of I'm trying to work this without my words. So, you're saying, Patti, you could, whatever you believe in, so whether it's Jesus or your angels or your gatekeeper, what you say, Charlotte. So you could just ask anybody you believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, it's the words or names are our little human things to them. What are those cosmologies are? It's our roadmap. It's what roadmap are you using? There's lots of roadmaps to get there, but spirit is much bigger than our little brains can do. So it's if somebody tells me, if somebody's doesn't understand angelic work, or they're not into the Judeo-Christian of Archangel Michael, might mean nothing to them, but they might see the ethereal of the lightness or call in the light itself, or they might work into an elemental, or they're spirit doesn't care of the exact, in my experience, of the exact words that you use. Again, in studying religions, they're all the same. Just the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Everybody's got the Jesus story. Everybody's got the God story, hanging on the cross story. Different names, different slight stories. It's the truth underneath them.
Yeah.
In my
I know.
experience.
I know what you're meaning. It's just like if you're looking for that kind of protection, or even if you're just looking for that bit of help, it's like just saying a prayer, kind of in your head, and they'll answer you, regardless of who it is you're asking. They will ask it because it's an energy that's.
You can
It's just
go.
that big a realm.
You can go on an investigation, and Patti will probably laugh at me with this, but you can go and sing a children's nursery rhyme if you believe that protection. Okay,
100%.
believe it will work. So you can use
Yeah.
whatever you need to use.
I love that. And that's again, I'm a pagan. In my pagan world, I like a lot of chaos magicians. Like their most holy song is something like "The wheel on the bus goes round and round, and round," because you want to twist it up. You can't get stuck in the words of it. So it is your intent. I'm calling in goodness. I'm calling in light. Whether it's whatever.
I understand what you're saying now. Just having that loving feeling.
Yeah, and singing itself is magic.
Yeah.
Honestly, because
why do you think I get called the spirit singer?
Yeah, and laughter.
Like.
The best protection to break negative energy is laughter.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things, we're shifting the energy. Your vowels and Heka work, Egyptian magic. Vowels opens up this crown of illumination. It clears the head. Laughing or singing, both same. The air that comes out is your pneuma. It's your life force. The moisture in your breath, which just comes out, is your free will. So it's your life force and your free will going ha, 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 or singing your children's nursery rhyme. Couldn't be more.
But it's little things like, when people do mantras and you've got things like where they go and if you actually hear the energy that comes from that sound, just feel it in your heart, feel it in your solar plexus, really feel it, and it will be there. That protection will be there.
Yep.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that.
A couple of questions from the chat for you, ladies, if that's all right.
Can I just say a quick hello to somebody? 2 people, is that okay?
Yeah, on you go.
Hello, Mr. Maxwell, and hello, Donna.
Is that Ronald?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a question for Patti.
Have I St. Augustine, Florida? No, I have never been to Florida. I haven't done a lot of the South. I travel a lot, but I've never, ever been to Florida. I'd like to go. Is there good ghosts in St. Augustine or spirits or magic?
That's where I'm going to be going, Patti.
How fun. Well, you'll be the first to go to Florida.
Maybe hook up. You can maybe meet, halfway.
Maybe halfway. Meet in Texas. No,
a rest stop or something like that. I think that's a rest stop or something up there.
Probably find a better place than a restaurant. Though with everything closed down, we maybe couldn't find a better place than a restaurant.
It might not be a better rest stop for a Costa.
Yeah.
We don't have Costa over there. It's European. It's Starbucks, another coffee shop.
Let's go.
Right.
Sorry to any Starbucks fans watching. Starbucks, they're great. They're brilliant. I love them. I love our Starbucks. That good recovery. Really. Here's another one for you, Patti, and then I've got one for you, Charlotte.
No.
Any advice for someone visiting the Haunted Museum in Vegas based on the experience? We're moving to California soon. I'm planning on popping over there amongst it. I was talking to Andy Murphy. We were actually chatting yesterday.
Yes, I will tell you what to do to go to the Haunted Museum. You do protection because he actually put a lot of work into a protection. He wants you to experience stuff, and you will, however gifted you think you are or not. But almost the same thing that I do with seance. If you really want to experience, again, do whatever your protections, signs, sigils. I work with a helm of Awe, 8-sided cross a lot. Protection oil. If you whatever protection, back of your head, right where your head and neck go together, that's the biggest portal on your body. That's why when you pray, you bow your head to open that up for spirit. Put your protection oils anywhere that you do. If you really want to experience, eat sugar before you go, just like in seances, because sugar, it does something, I think it's old Victorian, but it does something to your blood sugar. It heightens your sight and everything. And then make sure afterwards you eat salt. eat salt to ground always, because it'll ground, or touch iron if you can, anything iron. There's iron rails outside the building, and big metal trash can, and that'll ground you. And then whatever protection modes work with you. They sell Palo Santo in the museum. They sell all sorts of, that's Billy's thing. Each of the guys in the team have their own protection way that they do in their own cosmology. You know, Jack kind of got a Catholic thing, but they've each got their own, Aaron's just crazy, way to do it. But they sell Palo Santo and they sell stuff right in the store. So I love Palo Santo. I'm not a sage girl. I think sage is too harsh. It gets rid of everything.
I'm with you on this.
It creates a vacuum. It's almost like dusting your house and then leaving the doors and windows open in a sandstorm. It's good for some things, but if you do sage, fill it back up with something, a sweet incense, a frankincense, myrrh, whatever. But Palo Santo gets rid of the negative, but not all the good, in my experience. So, and they sell it right there. So going to the museum, I highly recommend it. Go. It's good. Every time I go, Peggy the doll there, she cusses at me. It's like, hi Peggy, I'm trying to be so nice. Do you remember me? And like, I can't say that. Yeah, it's funny, but it's a beautiful museum, I must say. It's well curated for anybody who's been there. So when you make it to the West Coast and you're into this sort of ghosty thing, which obviously everybody listening to or watching this is, go to Zach's museum. It's
Thank you, Annie. Here's a question for you, though.
The classes. So yeah, if you all the mediums that I know are generally down here, down south. I can give you a couple of names. One of them isn't doing classes at the moment. Obviously, normally I would run classes in person, but at the moment we are doing it over Zoom because of obviously what the current situation is. So anybody is welcome to join that anyway. And a lot of people believe it's not the same as doing it in person, but actually it's what you make it. Okay, you know, and the energy is there to be had because the energy is with us. Okay, so you can do it on Zoom, you can do it in person. I can get a couple of names to you, it's not a problem. I've worked with one of them, no, two of them I've worked with, but I only know of one of them's teaching style, because he's done a bit of teaching with me on my Zoom.
And I think Zoom is amazing, the energy, it's straight through, because everything is energy, everything, and electricity work, just like, in the haunted house, the lights flash on and off. This little Zoom thing that we're on connects. I do seances and they're just as connected. I've gotten iPhone codes from Spirit. It's amazing how connected you are. So when you teach, I'm sure when I teach, it's just like, it's fun to be live and in person, but thank goodness we have this during this time that we have.
But yeah, Andy, I can get those names to you, no problem.
We've got a few questions for you girls, if that's all right.
I don't know.
If you've got a spare 5 minutes, maybe, Can we find out who our spirit guides are and gatekeeper? Who are our spirit guides, sorry.
Yeah, Josie is one of my students and she's from Canada. She's beautiful, beautiful. Hi, Josie. Yes, that is something that obviously you've only recently come into the lessons. That is something with meditation, because unfortunately you missed this specific meditation that we did. So we will be doing that again. This week we're doing totem animals. But yeah, so it is. We will be doing that, and it will cover it with a meditation. And actually, I will say to you, it took me, so professionally I've been doing this 23 years. Obviously I've been doing it all my life. It's been like Patti, it's been with me from birth, but it took me probably 15 years to find out actually who my guides were. I knew they were there, okay, because not everybody connects to them. And if somebody says to you, you must connect to your guide, you must see your guide, that's, sorry, but it's rubbish. You don't always. You just have the knowledge that they are there, they are doing the job that they are supposed to be doing in protecting you and giving you the information. But yes, we will do a meditation, Josie, don't worry, we'll go through that.
Patti, here's one from Sam for you.
Okay.
when you do a reading face to face and then do an online live reading, is there a difference in how you connect with the person receiving the reading?
No, I do it. I do it exactly the same. I mean, we all probably have our little own openings, what we say, or a prayer, or breathing. I have a little thing that I say, inviting in their guides and mine, everything that's good, light, that I may be a conduit for real, true, helpful information. I have us breathe together 3 times. That's it. It doesn't matter if you're sitting face to face with me or we're across the world. And the connection, again. Once you're into the reading, it's just no different. How about you, Shar? It's just the same.
Yeah, and I'm going to say to you, it's exactly, I agree 100%. And I have actually found that during this time, my connection has actually been a lot stronger online. And I think it just really just depends on how much you put your trust, again, in spirit. I'll always go on about trust with spirit. And your guides is so important, and I think that's what it is. I do love doing one-to-ones in person because it's lovely to have that person in front of you, but at the same time it's exactly the same online. They're still there. It's a video. It's as if they're with you and you're picking up on the energy anyway.
It's the same. And if it is alive, like a few people that, they've been in town, so I'll see them I have a big backyard, deep backyard, and you're 6 feet apart and your mask, it's really no better. And then if there's any fear attached, like, is this safe enough? That's worse. It's better to be online where there's not, are you going to get sick? Or are you going to get whatever from the person?
One from Julie Rapton. Sorry, Julie. I'd like both of your opinion on this one from Julie. Please, ladies.
Okay. Hi, Julie. How are you, my darling? Bless you. Thank you for coming on. So I do have a little bit of things about mirrors in the bedroom. I don't know how Patti feels about this, but they are portals to spirit world. They're just a portal to everything, and it's, for me, I don't have any mirrors in my bedroom, but that's a personal choice. Okay. You can have mirrors, but the amount of houses I've had to go to help people, and they've had problems in their bedrooms in particular where they've got 5, 6, 7 mirrors. It's for me, if you're going to have one, cover it. There's no reason you can't have it in there. Just cover the thing. Cover it at night because you're in. Obviously, when we go into sleep, we're in the astral plane. We're wide open, and I'm sure Patti will give her view on it. But we're opening ourselves. If we have those mirrors and we have got activity, or this activity starts to come in, people forget. So when we have things happening around us in our lives, obviously we can attract negative energy. Okay, it can be around us, and people forget that actually happens. People that don't work with spirits, or don't work in paranormal, whichever, that side, and actually we can bring our own negativity into our own home. Okay, and and when it's there, it's there. And these things are, so many times I've lost count because I've done hundreds and hundreds, well, thousands probably now, of investigations and looked at videos and photos, and but every single one, I would say 99% of them have all had mirrors in their bedrooms, and actually when they've either removed them or covered them, it stopped.
I agree. The whole thing that they are portals and they have to be, but I do believe that, in my experience at least, they can be closed. I live in Hollywood. People have to have their mirrors in their bedroom. I'm sorry. This is Hollywood, and in America we have half the closet doors are sliding mirrors, which is a little weird. It's almost walls of mirrors. You can't even, hard to cover up. And in my experience, if you can not have them, great. If you have them, shut them down with sigil or a symbol that works for you. Again, my helm of Awe, 8-sided cross with little tridents. Energy goes in and blows it up. If you could put it right on the mirror, do it with a protective oil. If you do it behind it with with a Post-it on the mirror. I use a lot of cascarilla powder, eggshells, because that draws it away and closes it. You could, if you are having stuff coming in, again, then shut it. But if you can't shut it, put an egg on the salt, because the negative spirit's always going to go to the most innocent. It'll go into that egg and get rid of it. So if you're having stuff, there's 100,000 things to do. But I agree with you 100%. It's just, I live in Los Angeles. I live in Hollywood. You can't cover up mirrors. You can't. What?
To be fair,
I have 17 mirrors in my bedroom. Are you crazy? Okay, you have to work around it. You have to.
I mean, to be fair, when I do go into these places, I do close them down anyway. But it's also just to give people a peace of mind as well, that when we're not there, there's something that they can do. But I do, I agree with Patti with the salt and the egg. She's spot on, there's, like I say, there's loads of different ways to do it. So, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It is a portal. It literally from our 3-dimensional world to two-dimensional, and especially how many people have 2 mirrors facing each other. Holy, especially in bathrooms. That when you get that infinity thing going, that I see 100,000 of me. That's a freeway for spirit. That's a spirit highway.
2 mirrors facing each other, and if you're a person standing in the bathroom, looking in one mirror, they're going to see their butt in another mirror. Am I right?
Wherever you have 2 mirrors that touch each other, you've just created a total spirit portal. Some people do it on purpose, and some of the most haunted places in Hollywood, like the Hollywood Towers, which the Tower of Terror and Disneyland was divided after, it was built in the 30s or 40s, but mirrored walls and the smoky mirrored walls and then mirrors here. They're creating it and they love it. So there you go.
Nicole, I've got the next 2 questions are for both these ladies. So you can fight among you who's going to answer first. We're doing a seance why holding hands. Nicole's another member of our team. She's from Belgium.
But that might be TV, but yes, I have people hold hands a lot. Most important thing is uncrossing your legs, feet flat on the ground. I do not always have people hold hands. Actually, old school is more little finger to little finger. Touching is old school spiritualist, so your hands aren't touching onto each other's. And if I do have them hold hands, it's left palm up, right palm down, that receiving and giving. But I think that's just, you don't, and that's not a don't let go thing. Again, I think that's dramatic. In my experience, I don't know, you might know differently.
No, I agree with you 100%. I do. And that is, like you say, with the palms, I can't say anything different, to be honest, because I do it the exact same way.
See, we're smart. We're 2 smart blondes.
I've lost. It's really, I'm loving how you do both these click with each other.
Yep.
As I say, you've never met each other, and you just seem to,
I think it's the witch in us.
It's the witch in us. It's the magic.
So probably there's a question from Andy. Sarah seems to have lost it.
You were the one with the mouse.
There is a question for both of you. Can you tell us which location has been your most intense location, and if agreeable, why?
Do you want to go first? Want me to go first? You go first.
So I'm happy to go first. I think for me, Bodmin Prison was the most, I would say, intense location, and I wasn't actually there on an investigation. I was there just visiting with a friend, and as soon as I walked into the courtyard, the oppressive feeling, and it literally. So when I get that feeling with that oppression, it's like I literally go, and it just, it's so strong, and as soon as I walked into there, that was that. And it was, again, as soon as I started walking into the actual prison, and going round, this little boy was just following me the whole time, and he said, please, he's saying, please miss, and I just saw how he was dressed, and I just turned around and said, what is it, sweetheart? He said, please miss, can I go? And he really wanted to, and he told me why he'd been there. He'd been put in there for stealing a loaf of bread, and as soon as he dissipated, I went round the corner and there was a little plaque with his name on, why he'd been put in the cell, and it was exactly as he said to me. And it really brought tears to my eyes. There was a sea captain in there also, but there was a very, very, very negative, as you guys know, I'm not a fan of the word demonic per se, because it's just extremely. Oh, see, me and Patti are good. We're good.
Demons get way too much credit. It's like it's just a cranky ass ghost.
They are just negative entities. That's what they are. Anyway. So there was one that obviously the gallows or the said gallows were still there. But the worst feeling that I got at that place was actually coming out of it. So you go through the pub bit at the end, and the people in there were just staring, and I was like, "What?" And they looked like they were dead. These people, and that was the worst. They were just normal people, but they were like, just no energy about them at all. And I just thought, guys, bring yourself out of this atmosphere quick. But that's been the most, I would say, intense place.
That's funny. The dead living ones. For me, up until last month, I would have said the Black Dahlia murder house right here in Hollywood. If anybody's heard the Black Dahlia murder, that place, I've done a couple things there, one Ghost Adventures and one another show. It's just like black, oozy, horrid, throw you up against the wall stuff. That there's so much evil and dark, and who this doctor was is bad, and there is some spirits stuck there. We actually crossed over one, but didn't show it on TV with Zach and the whole. It didn't work for the TV show, but we actually did. But they're still stuck. He's holding them. But as of the past month, I would say honestly, the Cecil Hotel. We just did. We just did that. That's. I don't know if you guys have it on your side of the pond, but the new 2-hour special. Zach does this to me all the time. I didn't know where I was going. He teased me like 2 weeks before. He said, Patti, we're going to be in LA. I'm going to call you. Okay. But he never lets me know where I'm going. I never get the history of it. So 2 hours before I get a call, and I'm down at my brother's. He's like, okay, I need you here in 2 hours, and gave me an address. And I'm thinking, did I wash my hair? Oh, good Lord. Thank you. Girls need more notice than that.
But we are alike. We are alike.
Very much so.
Oh, God. All right. I can get sure. But yeah, I get there, and it's like Skid Row downtown LA. And it's not like ancient, like castles and prisons and all that. It's a hotel, but it's 2 serial killers have lived there, and 2. There was a rat wouldn't let me in the building. I would go right, he would go right. I would go left, he would go left. I'm like, oh, we're playing dodgeball. A possessed rat. And the second I walk in, it starts the oppression, just like you're saying. Very similar. Okay, the oppression comes in and compression comes in, and then Zach. It's like, oh, Cecil Hotel, and I'm thinking, oh, I remember something about a girl in a water tank. I don't know what this. And he just goes, okay, Patti, they're all holding their equipment. And he goes, okay, Patti, there's 14 floors and there's 700 rooms. You tell us where to go. Okay. Yes, the Cecil Hotel. Nervous for Patti, thinking, I know. I really went into trance state, and I was really possessed. So I led him to a room. So for those of you who haven't seen it, I walked in this little room, and I went right for the window, and I'm like, he's like, why is Zach yelling at me? I didn't know why Zach was. I'm opening the window. I'm like, I just got to get out of here. Again, this is like dream state to me. I don't remember. I've got to get out of here. And he's yelling at me, sit down, close the window. I had no idea until afterwards that somebody had jumped out that exact window. And I didn't remember all that till I saw it on TV. And then we went, I'd let him into another room, and all of a sudden I'm being attacked. I'm like, oh gosh, and I'm covering myself. Like when you have to go to the bathroom, and I'm covering my lady, and Zach's going, where are you? I'm like, oh, don't go there. And I'm again, kind of channeling something, but I didn't know. And Zach's like, well, where is it? And in the part of me that's still conscious, regular, I'm on TV, I'm a human, Patti, like, how do you say that area? And I just said something like lady parts, female parts. And I again had no idea that a woman had sadly been raped and murdered in that exact room I'd lived them to. So that place, 700 rooms of evil. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, lived there. Some guy who came over from the UK or England had lived there. People jumped out of windows. One woman threw a newborn baby. I mean, just the Alyssa Lamb thing, which a lot of people know went viral, the crazy girl in the elevator thing, and then, was in the water tank. People were drinking her for 2 weeks. That takes the cake now is my darkest. When you give up control, it's like, Yes, the Black Dahlia was linked to the Cecil Hotel. She was seen there just before. There's either the ground that is on. I mean, LA is very charged ground, but the Black Dahlia was seen at the Cecil Hotel. It all ties together. Yeah.
I'm sitting here listening to you, and I just realised how very similar we are in how we work with the paranormal. And the amount of times where, yes, I have been taken over and things, and I am always protected. I know.
Me too. I know, and I know I'm not going to go home with it.
Exactly. And I do. I'm just sat here listening, and I'm just thinking to myself, that's so me.
My little twin sister from another mother. My baby sister, other twin. And again, and I don't, and the only place when I am on these investigations to work in the dark, but if somebody's coming to one of my seances or my mediumship, I don't let in the dark stuff. Again, we can control that.
Yeah.
So when the seance around the table, we're going to talk to grandma and auntie something, your guide.
And this is one of my things that I'm so strict about with when my team take out the general public, and I will never leave anybody on their own, that hasn't done before. Obviously my team will go off, but I certainly I am so very, I'm a bit of an ogre, I think, sometimes, because I like to protect people, because obviously there are people that haven't been doing it like we have for many, many years, and we have to be very mindful of that.
Can I just ask, like the opposite side of the coin, pretty much, what the most enlightening experiences they've both had? Is when you've been doing maybe like an investigation or even just speaking with spirit, what was the most enlightening experience as a medium that you've both had?
Let me go first. Okay. I like when there's really fun spirits. Again, when you go to the prisons and the insane asylums and the evil hospitals, you're going to get a bunch of dark spirits and ghosts. But again, going back to Hollywood, it's like there's a lot of really fun places that fun ghosts hang out, like the Hollywood Athletic Club, even the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. Marilyn Monroe's around the pool all the time. The American Legion, they showed more of the darker stuff, but Charlie Chaplin came up to me and was really happy that he was let back in, because I guess during the war, the communist scare, he was kicked out of it, stuff like that. So I like happy ghosts. I like we're here to party and have a good time ghosts. But I think the most enlightening wasn't even an investigation. It was like a one-on-one in somebody's little apartment in Hollywood. This guy had died, leaving a young wife and a young child. And this is why I said, like, iPhone code. She sits with his iPhone with there's 1,000 pictures and videos on it, and they couldn't get it. They didn't know the code, and the spirit gave me the code. So
love that.
Stuff like that, when you can get practical life, help the living, that the dad can help the living. That's what it's really about.
Yeah.
For me.
I think for me, my most enlightening is when I've helped on murder cases, and it's to see that family has actually finally got peace, and said family may have been waiting for 10, 15, 20 years, and actually they have changed for life, and it just to see them helped in such a way, it just brings them that peace. And that, eventually when they do go to their grave, that they're going with that peace, I think, but my most enlightening was actually when I died, just to put it mildly. So, and I got taken up with the angels. And it was such a very strange experience. I'd had a major operation that I shouldn't have survived. And basically the doctor made a massive mistake. So they said to me that all my levels were that of a dead person, but I'm still here. And I just put that down to my fighting And I got told by my angels. They actually said to me, they actually said, "You, my darling, are an angel upon the earth."
Oh,
And that just, I woke up. Obviously, I was in intensive care. I was out of it, but apparently, when I came back round, I just had tears streaming down my eyes. And they just said to me, "Your work is not finished yet, my love."
Oh.
And they sent me back, and I was like, "Oh, damn! I didn't trust that."
Did you have that experience? I'm intrigued by near-death experiences.
Yeah.
Did you have a moment of disappointment coming back, as so many do?
I did.
Yeah. That cracks me up.
It was like, the only way you can describe it, for me personally, it was like pure elation, because I was in so much pain within my body. I was literally putting my my heels of my feet into the hospital bed and trying to push up the bed away from the pain, and I couldn't get away from it. I had so much of a temperature that everyone was coming in with coats on, and I was still boiling because the AC was on, and I was just having to have ice on me all the time. And to come back to that, it was that the elation and the peace. That's why I will always say to people, do not be afraid of being, of passing away, of being at that point where you may pass away, because the enlightenment that is there is just so pure and beautiful.
That's
Once
beautiful.
you get back to Britain, how could you be Florida or something like that, You said back to the UK, the worst weather on the planet and stuff like that. Don't send me back here.
It's all right. I'm going there soon.
Bahamas, no England. No. I know he's limited for your time, ladies, so I'm going to wind it up there. I do apologise, folks, for starting a couple of minutes late. Just bother with the PC. But as Charlotte and Patti are both limited time-wise. So thanks very much, everybody, for coming. If I could just hold on to two just for a wee second or two after we come off here, that'd be great. So thanks very much to everybody in chat. We're sorry we didn't get around to all your questions. Hopefully, subtle hint, we might have them back again. And we can take up where we left off. And we're back on Friday night for just a fun question and answer session. But Charlotte and Patti, thank you very much, ladies, for giving us the time to come in.
Thank you.
She's adorable. I don't know which side she's on. Over there.
She's on that side. That side. She's down there.
Okay.
She's down there, but Patti, she confuses me.
Thank you.
So we'll say goodnight good night just now, folks, and stay safe wherever you are.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.